Now, we are told about Sakamoto, who was a quite dangerous hitman who once fell in love with a girl, and he takes retirement from his work and starts living a normal life. And one day, suddenly, attacks start happening on him. This reveals that Slur has placed a very large bounty on him, but he is sending different people to kill him. And Slur has hired 4 dangerous people to kill Sakamoto, and they have also reached this city to kill Sakamoto. Now we see a man who is running away, hiding from someone. Just then, he suddenly collides with a corpse and falls right there. Now, a girl appears in front of him. This guy starts begging her for his life, but this girl hugs him and then suddenly kills him right there. After that, we see another guy who is doing some work. Just then, suddenly, a strange man appears in front of him who is a killer, and with the help of his threads, he cuts that guy into pieces. After which, he starts decorating his body parts here, and then his eyes fall on his manga collection, where 1 volume was missing. So he runs to the store and purchases it from there. And after buying this, he was very happy. But after this, we see another killer who had killed a guy here. For me, this is not enough. And like this, after finishing their work, they start chatting with each other. One killer was saying, "I will have a lot of fun killing Sakamoto." Then we see Sakamoto. Futan was telling him, "The responsibility of handling this place is now mine." Now, Sakamoto, Shin, and Lu had come out. Lu was saying Futan left quite easily, and Shin says, "Hey, oh madam, all the money we collected with so much difficulty, he took all of it with him after, which these people had come to a store, and they had come here to get information about their enemies." Shin and Lu here pick up some books. Sakamoto pays for them, and their bill was 1 million yen. Then we see the order people, and with them was an old man, and he is not an ordinary person. He is very powerful, and Osaragi was driving the car, and she mistakenly goes onto the wrong road. Now she starts reversing the car, which causes the old man to shake a lot. Seeing this, he starts getting very annoyed, and he tells Osaragi to drive the car properly. This old man's name was Takamura. Just then, a fly comes in front of him. He tells everyone to duck down, and the next moment, he cuts the car in half. Seeing this, these people didn't have much of a reaction, as if they already knew about it. Then we see Sakamoto and his team, who had come to watch a movie, and the brother who was buying those books. Actually, those were CDs which contained all the information about criminals and hitmen, and Sakamoto here is sleeping peacefully, and people were finding the movie very boring. Just then we see that someone has targeted Sakamoto, and it was none other than Hisuke, and he fires at Sakamoto. Sakamoto stops the bullet very quickly. Hisuke laughs and says, "Oh wow, Sakamoto, you have stopped my 99 bullets. You have become much faster than before." And Sakamoto says, "Yes, okay, but before the others come, we must do more training." Just then, Shin had also arrived, and he was telling Sakamoto, "You can do as much training as you want, but when the time comes, you will definitely die." Just then, he suddenly attacks Sakamoto, but Sakamoto blocks his attack, and it is not Shin but Nagumo. "Sakamoto, you are quite good, but I heard that you are finding out everything about those prisoners." And Sakamoto answers yes to this, and Nagumo says, "The border people are already working on this. A trivial storekeeper like you shouldn't get involved in this." Sakamoto says, "Don't you worry about it. I will catch those people before the order does." Nagumo asks, "Are you going to catch them alive? Don't you want to know what they think about you?" Now Nagumo shows Sakamoto a list, in which Sakamoto is listed as a B-rank killer. Seeing this, Sakamoto is very shocked, and Nagumo says, "Pay attention to my name too. I am listed as an S-rank killer." And seeing this, Sakamoto is even more shocked. When did this happen? Then we see Lu in a store who was playing with some cats. She asks Shin, "What did you come here to buy?" And he says, "Nowadays there are a lot of bullet marks outside our store. So to fill them, I have come here to buy putty. By the way, you shouldn't stay with us because some killers are openly roaming around, so your life could also be in danger." Lu says, "Oh, don't worry. Sakamoto will save us." And he says, "Yes, I know he will save us, but we shouldn't become a burden on him." But brother, Lu was busy playing with the cats here, and she wasn't listening to him. Just then, the shop owner comes and starts giving Shin a dog. Shin first refuses to take it, but later he starts liking it. Then these two start playing together. Just then, the doggy and all the other animals start growling at someone, and his name is Sho, who is a killer. It seems these animals don't know that when danger is in front of you, you don't growl like this, but rather run away from there. And he takes out a weapon from his bag and attacks Shin. This causes Shin to fall far away, and all the people in the store start running away from here. Shin had now gotten back up. Sho says, "Very good, Shin. You dodged my attack." Shin was very shocked how this guy knew his name. Sho says, "This list has the names of all those who are going to die." But he also says that Lu has a B rank in it. Meanwhile, Shin has a C rank. Now, brother, he starts getting very upset hearing that Lu's rank is higher than his. Now Shin starts attacking at 100, and he was reading his mind and dodging all his attacks. After which, he delivers a powerful kick to him, but Sho is unaffected by it. After that, he takes out a rope from his bag and adds it to his weapon. Shin was reading his mind, and in this guy's mind, only kill was running. Now Sho attacks them again. These people dodge his attack, and when he starts attacking them again, these people start running away from here. Lu says, we must somehow get out of here, otherwise he will kill us. Shin thinks that there are no weapons around here. Just then Sho attacks Lu, but Shin saves her. But in the process, he got a cut. Sho now says, Shin, I know you can read minds. Can you tell me what is going on in my mind? Oh, forget it. Whenever weak people like you come in front of me, only one thing runs in my mind, that I should finish them off quickly. Just then Lu attacks Sho, but he had dodged her attack. Now Shin takes advantage of this and attacks him with a fire attack, but Sho is still unaffected, and then he attacks them again. But these people had escaped from there, and his weapon hit a gas cylinder. This caused a very big blast here, but Lu had saved Shin here, and Sho was still unharmed. Shin starts cursing himself that Lu had to save him. How had he become so weak? Then we see Sakamoto, who is very worried about Lu and Shin because they hadn't returned home yet. Hisuke says, oh, don't worry, nothing will happen to them because he is a very good friend of mine. Sakamoto says, yes, I believe that, but such occasions are very rare when Shin has had to risk his life. Meanwhile, Sho starts making fun of Shin because he was losing to him. Oh, I wish I could read your mind. I want to see what you are thinking in your last moments, and after killing you, my next target is Sakamoto's family, and after that, I will kill Sakamoto, and in this way, I will finish his entire family. And hearing this, something happens to Shin. His blood starts flowing very rapidly, and his eyes had now turned blue. As soon as Sho attacks him, Shin very quickly avoids his attack, and when he attacks again, Shin this time catches his weapon. I can see your future, and I know that you are going to die now. After which, he attacks Sho, and from this attack, blood starts coming from his mouth. Now, as soon as Sho attacks Shin, Shin is avoiding his attack. After which, Sho also starts thinking, can he really see the future? After which, Shin lands a powerful punch on him, and Sho is quite injured from it. And Shin says, I won't let anything happen to anyone close to me. Then we are shown a scene where Bhutan is telling Shin something about the subconscious mind, like how Shin can read everyone's mind, and this gives him a great advantage in fights. And Bhutan says you can go one level beyond this, but for that, you need to know about motor readiness potential, meaning when your brain is giving you a signal through nerve binding to throw punches. If at that very moment you catch the thoughts, then your fighting will become even better. Then we see Shin, who is beating Sho very badly, and Shin is using the same strategy that Bhutan had told him. Now Sho also doesn't understand what is happening to him. Even though he has a weapon, Shin is still overpowering him. Just then, suddenly, Shin's power starts overloading because he has just learned this new power, and Sho takes advantage of this. Just then, suddenly, Lu makes an entry in between. She has drunk pure ethanol, meaning it's a type of alcohol, and she has entered drunk mode, after which she starts beating Sho very badly. Now, Sho also doesn't understand what exactly happened to her, and Lu had crossed all limits here. She sits on him and shoves the whole shovel into his body, but she was repeatedly saying the same thing. If anyone dares to lay eyes on my family, I will finish them. Now, Sho's condition was very bad, and he tries to run away from here. Oh man, I don't want to die yet. I have to kill a lot of people yet. Just then, Shin makes an entry with a chair, and in one attack, he piles him up. Then we see a scene of a temple where Osaragi and Shishiba were eating food. Just then, Shishiba gets a call from Nagumo, and he tells him how a death row inmate has already died, and now he is going to kill more inmates. Shishiba and Osaragi also want to kill those people themselves, but so far, they haven't caught a single one. Now Osaragi quickly starts eating her food, and leaving some food for Shishiba, starts to leave from there. As soon as Shishiba eats that food, he sees that there is onion in the food, which makes him very angry. Then we see Sho, who gets out of the store and quickly gets into a car and was now heading towards the airport so he could escape from here. But he notices that there is another prisoner sitting in the car, and he finishes 100's game in 10 rupees. Then we see Shin, who is now okay, but has a lot of pain in his head. And there we are shown a new association named Floats. And this is a cleaning group of the JAA. And wherever an incident happens, these people go and clean up there. Then we see the temple scene again, where Osaragi has come with her suitcase to pray. And she was praying, I wish I also got the chance to kill the death row inmates. Before she could complete her prayer, she suddenly gets attacked, and this attack was done by Dump, but Osaragi easily blocks her attack, and now it's time to teach her a lesson. Osaragi catches her and says, do you know how prayer is done in Japan? You bow your head twice, and she grabs her head and starts banging it on the stones, and then she says, the hands are also joined, and she starts clapping them like that, and Osaragi was beating her very badly, but just then, suddenly, this girl stands up again, and here Shishiba is looking for Osaragi. Now this girl meanwhile, attacks Osaragi again, but Osaragi avoids this attack with the help of her suitcase. Dump starts saying to her, "You are a killer too, and you have no right to judge me." And Osaragi replies to her, "If a fly enters someone's house, they will kill it, right? So that fly is you, and now I will kill you too." Dump attacks her and throws her suitcase far away. Now Dump attacks her again. Osaragi avoids this attack and knocks down a very large bell from there and kicks it towards Dump, causing her to fall far away. After which, Osaragi had now come outside, and Dump attacks her again, and this attack goes right through Osaragi's hand. But Osaragi, moving her hand forward, catches her hand and delivers a powerful kick to her. Then we are shown Dump's past. Whatever she used to like, she believed that no one else should like that thing. Only and only she should be the one person to like it. That was Dump, and that's why she used to kill all those people who used to like it. Now, in the present, from that attack, Dump falls far away, and now she attacks Osaragi again. Osaragi was avoiding all her attacks, but she kicks this killer again with a powerful kick, and she falls back far away. Now Dump was repeatedly attacking her like this, and Osaragi was also repeatedly kicking her back. Now Osaragi had also found her suitcase. Now this killer starts saying, "Why does this always happen only to me?" Because she has always been the one who loves. Now Osaragi starts saying, "You know that I am a killer," and she takes out a very large blade from her bag. "My aim has always been to finish killers, and today also I'm going to do the same, and thanks for making my dream come true, because you are very cute." And she attacks her and finishes her in one attack. Then we are shown Hisuke in a tower. Yes, I will kill those prisoners, and he had photos of those same prisoners in his hand, and he was keeping an eye on those prisoners from afar. Then we are shown a guy who was wearing a deer mask on his head, and he was talking to someone on the phone. Yes, everything is happening according to our plan, because the Order people have now come out of their bill. Now this guy had reached a room. Just then, suddenly, a killer comes near him and catches him with his thread. "Tell me, who were you talking to?" But the killer says, "I want to live my life only according to my own will." But this guy says, "You must only obey those people whose names are on that list." But this killer, with the help of his thread, cuts this guy right here, after which he leaves from here. But this guy, even after being cut into so many pieces, was still alive, and he was talking to someone on the phone. The person on the phone was saying, "Let this killer live his life his own way. What he is doing now to kill those people is enough." Then we are shown a killer outside Sakamoto's shop. Meanwhile, in the shop, Sakamoto's wife is talking to Sakamoto himself on the phone, and Sakamoto was asking his wife, "Has any customer come yet, or not?" His wife answers, and she says that no one has come so far. Sakamoto says, "Okay then, take care of yourself." Just then, suddenly that killer arrives there. "How may I help you?" she asks him. But this guy doesn't give her any answer. Then we see Shin, who was shouting a lot, and Sakamoto was holding his head and repeatedly moving it downwards. We find out that Sakamoto has brought him to a holistic healer, because in the previous fight he had gotten many injuries, and this old lady who is treating him, her name is Mian, who is very famous in her area, because once someone gets treated by her, their wounds are completely eradicated, and Sakamoto has come to meet them after a long time, which is why this granny doesn't recognize him. And we are told that she has another name too, which is Godly Hand, and her age is now 98, and she tells Shin, "If you use your power for more than 5 minutes, you could suffer a major breakdown, so use it sparingly." And Lu here starts saying, "Oh, I also have a lot of pain in my head. Can you check me too? I think you have drunk too much alcohol. That is why you have a headache. Here, drink this decoction. After drinking this, you will get better soon." And then this granny starts checking Sakamoto too. She says, "Sakamoto, you came here after a long time, and still you have made such childlike friends. But no problem. These children are also very good. And tell me, what is going on? What are you going to do next? By the way, I can check that you have a lot of anger built up inside you. It seems you want revenge on someone." And she stops Sakamoto from doing anything right now, because he is only at 30% of his former power, and a big gap has come between Nagumo and you. Now Sakamoto starts getting up to leave. The granny hits a pressure point in his chest, and after fixing his last acupuncture point, Sakamoto leaves from there. Then we are shown a scene of Sakamoto's shop, where another prisoner had arrived, and he starts inquiring about Sakamoto from his wife. And when she doesn't tell him anything, he grabs her by the collar. Now he was about to kill her, but just then, suddenly, she breaks his hand, and we find out that actually she wasn't his wife, but rather it was Nagumo, who was waiting for the enemies to come by, changing his disguise. Actually, Sakamoto had asked him to look after the store today, and then a very dangerous fight happens between these two. Nagumo fails to kill him because he was using his plastic knife. Then we see Hisuke, who is looking for the other prisoners. He says, "My grandmother had said, if you ever can't find something, you should look right under your nose." And following that same thing, he starts looking under a glass, and the part is visible below, and here he was, looking for a person whom he could investigate thoroughly and extract all his information. And Hisuke, aiming, fires at him, but he stops his bullet with his own thread, and becoming like Spider-Man, he reaches right next to him, and now a fight starts between these two. Now Hisuke whispers something in his ear, and he fires downwards. A part had now tied him up in his threads. says, "So finally, I have found a friend of Sakamoto. Now I will have a lot of fun killing you." And just as he was about to attack him, Sakamoto emerges from the elevator and lands a powerful punch on him. Actually, the fire that Hisuke had just done was aimed at Sakamoto so that he would know that a part had arrived here. A part now says, "Sakamoto Taro, I have heard a lot about you, but you are very fat. But even so, you are very powerful." Then we see the minimum militant who is telling Nagumo, "I have killed 438 people so far, and your number is next." Nagumo says, "Oh man, do you even keep count of these things? Who keeps track of them?" And in the middle of the conversation, he takes out his phone and first checks Slur's number, after which he starts checking all the information about what is in his phone, but he finds nothing in it, so he throws his phone away, and the minimalist now starts attacking Nagumo with whatever items he finds. But he is avoiding them very easily. Now the minimalist starts looking for him because he wasn't visible around. Nagumo now converts into his inside and pulls him out through a mirror. Now Nagumo grabs his throat and starts checking him, but he finds nothing on him. Nagumo says, "Look man, I am a very decent person, so tell me, how would you like to die?" Now he had taken out his weapons, which were different types of blades. Nagumo tells him to select one. That guy says, "Do you think you can keep mocking me like this?" After which, he attacks Nagumo. Now Nagumo takes out a dice and throws it into this guy's mouth, and the number 3 came up, and on his weapon, at the third number, was a very dangerous can opener, and Nagumo finishes this guy's game right here with its help. Then we see Sakamoto, who is fighting with a part, and he struggles a bit fighting him. Meanwhile, on the other hand, Nagumo had very easily killed that guy in a joking manner, meaning there is a huge difference in their strength, and we find out that the acupuncture point that Mian had hit on Sakamoto Taro is preventing him from losing his weight, and along with that, he is becoming neither fast nor strong. Now a part starts pulling Sakamoto with the help of his threads. Meanwhile, Sakamoto throws a small tower at him, after which all the toys kept there start falling. Meanwhile, a part who has a condition called OCD now goes and starts fixing all the items. Oh brother, what kind of disease is this? Sakamoto was trying very hard to lose his weight, but he fails in this, and he thinks, oh man, fighting him like this could cause me a lot of trouble. But yes, the granny has fixed my acupuncture point very well, and that is why I feel my body is lighter than before. Meanwhile, we see the granny who is telling Shin and Lu, Sakamoto is only at 30% of his former power, especially when he is not thin. Actually, he doesn't need to be thin all the time. On the contrary, his very weight can be of more use to him because the more weight there is, the more powerful the impact will be. A part now starts calling Sakamoto a pauper because he has a lot of junk in his pocket and his slippers are also torn. Meanwhile, the granny was saying that Sakamoto doesn't need to lose weight to fight well. He just needs to learn to move well in this very form. And when I hit his acupuncture point as he was leaving, because of that, his body should have started working properly now. And here, Sakamoto had made a ghost of a part. He beats him very badly, after which he even took him to the lift and gives him a thorough beating there. And these people fall in one place. A part was now saying, after a long time, I have found someone who can connect with me so well. So Sakamoto Taro, will you listen to my story? And Sakamoto outright refuses him. I don't have time to do anything like that which would waste my time. Now we see Osaragi and Shishiba, but Osaragi has completely destroyed this temple, and Shishiba, taunting her, says, do you know these gates were the path to God, and you have completely destroyed them? How will God feel when they wake up in the morning? Osaragi says, I had to do this alone because you were busy eating. Now, Shishiba gets a call, and it was from Nagumo, and he says, did you check the last page of the file? Actually, Slur's plan was that all the inmates would kill each other, and on its next page, something else was written, and Nagumo says, I think Slur hired these people so that they could drag these things on for a long time. Then we see all the inmates' ratings, and a part is the most powerful among them. Meanwhile, we see Sakamoto. A part was telling him, you are the first person I have felt connected to, but you have a lot of arrogance. After which, these two start fighting again. Then we are shown a part's past. In childhood, no one used to talk to him, not even. His mother used to pay attention to him, and he didn't even remember his mom's voice. But his dad, who used to be very busy with his work, still loved him very much, and he had also given him a toy, and he tells his son, actually, only one thing matters. That is the goodness inside you. Now he also tries to make some friends, but they chase him away, and now he starts feeling lonely, and he takes a pair of scissors and tears apart that toy too, which his dad had gifted him. But after doing this, he feels very good, and his mom was also noticing this same thing. As a part grows older, his connections also keep decreasing. Along with that, he now starts destroying that toy with different things. But one day he finds a cat, and he does the same with it too. His dad thinks that his son is going crazy, but he says that I will fix you. Now his dad had come to get him checked by a doctor. The doctor says that there is no problem in his brain. He is completely normal, but his dad grabs the doctor itself. How can you say that? He is not okaying weird things. A part tries to stop his dad, but his dad hits him with a punch. After after which he completely loses it and attacks his dad with scissors. And after this, he opens his dad's brain to check it, and he was feeling very happy doing this because both their brains were the same. Now in the present, a part is saying, see, I am not alone at all. Sakamoto says all this is nonsense. If you really want connection with people, you have to stop hurting them. And now a part cuts a part of the tower, causing it to start falling down. And he says to Sakamoto, after I kill you, I will leave you just like this because you have no manners to talk to me. Now Sakamoto was completely ready to end all this. First, he goes up. From there, he takes a steel wire and somehow stops this tower. And Hisuke was also very worried about him. Now everyone tries to get out from there. But now, a part had tied Sakamoto in his string and was about to open his brain. Just then, the entry of that uncle happens, who, as soon as he arrives, cuts a part of this tower. But as soon as he lands, the tower was now completely straight. But this uncle had told his driver that he was going to the washroom. Now Sakamoto was completely ready to fight. But now he directly attacks a part and starts beating him very badly, after which he throws a part onto the tower. But a part still hadn't come to his senses. Oh man, Sakamoto, why aren't you letting me connect with you? Sakamoto, brother, picks up a dish and throws it at him, and then jumps on him himself. Now a part had become very emotional. Why? Finally, I can't connect with anyone. Sakamoto feels very bad seeing this, and he tells him, it's up to you what you choose to do. And Sakamoto decides that he won't kill him now, but he saves him. And now these people had entered the tower. Now Sakamoto picks up a stamp and stamps it on him, and now he is taking him to Mion's clinic. Then we are shown Mion's clinic, where all these people are sitting. Hisuke was making tea for them, and just then, suddenly, a part wakes up. Shin senses his presence and says, you can't pretend to sleep in front of me. I have found out that you are trying to hide. A part is now saying, do you people also work with Dear Guy, or are you also trying to use me like him? Hisuke says, no, why would we do that? On the contrary, we need your help because you are the only one who can help us. And a part says, why did you people leave me alive? You could have killed me if you wanted. But these people say, no, we don't want to do that. We are just trusting you and asking for your help. But a part, hearing their words, agrees to give information. And now he starts telling them that he was working for a reindeer cyborg, but he didn't know any information about Slur. But yes, when I cut reindeer, I left one of my strings there so I could listen to their conversations. And I found out one thing. Their main plan was not that the death row inmates would completely cause chaos, but their real plan was that amidst all this, they would attack the JAA's main building and completely destroy it. Then we are told about the JAA. More than 1,000 people work in this company, out of which 400 people are professional hitmen. Then we see some people who were boxing. Meanwhile, a guy was checking a gun here. But their Kant region's headquarters, which is the headquarter, finds out many things, such as they provide assassination missions, along with management and mediation. And these people also repair the area where damage has occurred. Along with that, they also make new weapons. And this place is very important for the JAA. Then we see two guys who, sitting on a bicycle, start heading towards this building. Now the security guard asks them for an employee ID, but the guy with the jacket says, we don't have any employee ID because we don't even work here. Now the security guard points his gun at them. This guy asks his partner, hey Slur, do you have your old employee card? From this, we find out that Slur also used to work in this company before, and he refuses. And the first guy finishes this security guard right here. And Slur was quite nervous while entering because this day for him is like the first day of school, and he is telling his partner many things here. Gaku says, don't tell me these things, because if you are nervous here, you should be careful about this. After listening to all these things, Sakamoto says, so, okay, our final decision is that we must go there to save the JAA. Now we see Slur and Gaku going into the JAA headquarters. Now some guards start asking them for ID cards, but these people kill them too. Slur says to his partner, you will have to handle the work ahead now. Now an announcement happens here, which was saying, 2 enemies have entered our building, so all the hitmen should come forward to fight, and all others should leave this building. But the employees here don't pay attention to this because they were confident that they couldn't reach this far. But just then, suddenly, Gaku reaches upstairs, and seeing this, these people's asses are kicked, and in one move, he finishes everyone. Now some people come and start firing at him, and their instructor is telling them everything. But Gaku finishes them too with just one of his moves. Just then, another guy makes an entry, who, as soon as he arrives, attacks Gaku, after which, Gaku also attacks him with a fire attack. This guy isn't much affected, but Gaku then attacks him with his hammer, and this guy falls far away. Then we see 4 people who were waiting for Slur outside the lift. As soon as Slur arrives here, the guy behind kills his own companions. Actually, he is in league with Slur, and he was working as a spy in the JAA for him, and here he was getting a good salary too. Slur asks him, do you have any friend here whom you want to save? This guy says yes, but perhaps your friend might have finished them by now. And they were discussing their plan. Their plan was to finish the JAA and create a new world of their own in which all assassins would work under them. Now the old uncles had also arrived here, and as soon as they try to go inside, outside, some people try to stop them, and these uncles cut those people down faster than the wind. Now Gaku also starts feeling that someone very dangerous is coming towards him. Just then, suddenly, these uncles reach there. But for some reason, Gaku starts feeling a little scared here, and he attacks them with his hammer. But these uncles stop his attack with just the handle of their sword, and in a few seconds, they also cut his fingers. Now Gaku attacks them again, but these uncles, without even unsheathing their sword, break his hammer into 2 pieces. Now Gaku's ass is thoroughly kicked, and then he blows up the entire floor. Now Slur had also realized that the ghost of JAA is still alive, meaning that the old man and Sakamoto had arrived here with his friends. But he had recognized Slur upon seeing him. This is none other than his childhood friend. Shin is also very shocked to hear this because Slur had met him once and told him to say hi to Sakamoto, and Slur, upon seeing Sakamoto, says, "Oh man, you have become so chubby. Now, you must be feeding your children," and at lightning speed, he stabs Sakamoto with knives. But a guy was about to shoot Shin, but a part comes and stops him. Just then, Slur cuts off one of a part's hands. Now Sakamoto saves Shin too, and he tells his companions, "You should rest now because I will handle the work ahead myself." And Slur says to Sakamoto, "Now it will be a lot of fun to fight." And yes, why? Don't you kill me again. Sakamoto tries to attack him with his pen, but Slur attacks him very quickly and also escapes from there. "Oh, Sakamoto, your name itself has moto in it, and you may have been much better than me in class, but in a fight, you aren't that good. To kill someone, you should have absolutely no emotion inside you." Now Shin jumps into the fight to save him. Slur was about to attack him, but Sakamoto saves him at the right time. Sakamoto says, "I am not a hitman now, and I don't kill anyone anymore." But Slur provokes him. "By the way, I heard you have a little daughter too." After hearing this, Sakamoto gets very angry, and he quickly moves forward to attack Slur. Slur had already moved back a little, after which a very dangerous fight starts between these two, and this fight was getting very intense. Slur says, "This time, don't leave me alive." Shin tells Sakamoto to stop because he had promised his family that he would never take anyone's life. Just then, Gaku makes an entry there. He says to Slur, "You didn't tell me about any old man because he is like Jackie Chan's uncle." Now these uncles had entered by cutting the gate. A guy tries to stop them, but they finish his game right here. Along with that, they also cut off one of Gaku's hands. And he says, "What's the use of a hand in a fight anyway?" And he attacks the uncles with his severed hand, and from this, some cracks appear in the uncle's sword. Now Slur, stopping Gaku, says, "Let's get out of here now." But that uncle swings his sword very dangerously. Now Sakamoto also starts attacking them. Meanwhile, these uncles were about to teach these two a lesson. Just then, Udo comes in between and blows himself up. This brings peace here for a little while. Now Shin comes running to Sakamoto. Meanwhile, Slur is watching him, and he leaves with Gaku. Then we find out that on that day in September, 176 people were killed, out of which 3 people were injured and 1 guy had disappeared, and he was none other than the old uncle. And in just 6 months, Slur has killed the JAAs, hitmen, and reduced their number to 1/4. And then there is a time skip, and we see Sakamoto in a hospital. The old people there were taking great care of him, and Shin was also standing outside, feeling too shy to go in, because he feels that whatever happened to Sakamoto was because of him. Now Rei and Nagumo had come to Sakamoto to find out about Slur, and Sakamoto tells them everything. Slur is none other than their old friend, Uzuki. Rei says, "I had never heard about this guy. Only you and Nagumo were quite famous in your class, and if this guy has done all this alone, he must be very dangerous." And Shin is also listening to all their talk from outside. Now these people start to leave. Sakamoto tells them, "I have more information about Slur. If you tell me your information about him, I will also share all my information with you." But Rei tells him, "We are JAA people. We don't give information to just anyone. By the way, you now have a family. If you get involved in these things, what will happen to them after you?" But they start fighting amongst themselves like this. After which, they now come to another room. Rei says, "Why do you even need to fight? Don't you trust anyone?" Sakamoto says, "Yes, I used to be like that before, but now I have started trusting some people." Just then, Shin comes and attacks him, and this guy gets stuck to the MRI machine. Rei tells him, "If you really want any information about Slur, you can go to the JCC databank and check everything." Now, Sakamoto and Shin had come to a roof. Shin says to Sakamoto, "I had brought this basket for you, but I was too shy to give it to you because I was the reason for what happened to you." Now Sakamoto says to himself, "It's okay. When Slur mentioned my daughter, I was about to kill him. At that time, it was you who controlled me." And Shin is finding out all this by reading his mind. Now we see Shishiba and Osaragi, who had come to the Kanto region's JAA headquarters. And Osaragi was saying, "Now I understand how it feels to have your own house destroyed." Now, and she is talking about the temple which she had destroyed in the fight. Shishiba says to her, "Yes, we can't do anything about it now, but the biggest thing is that 40% of the Kanto region region's people were killed, and after that, their stock prices also fell very low. Therefore, the higher-ups will make many changes in rules and regulations, and they will also bring in a lot of new staff. And now it is time. We must assemble the entire order so we can talk. And Shishiba is thinking about a new member of the order named Kanaguri. Then we see a ruined warehouse, where Kashima is sewing Gaku's severed hand, and he says to Gaku, attaching a hand is very difficult. But yes, be careful not to use it too much, otherwise it will stop working forever. And Gaku thanks him for fixing his hand. Kashima says, you don't need to thank me for this. You should thank the one who cut your hand, because he cut your hand very cleanly. And because of this, your hand's muscle tissue was still alive, and that's why I could attach it properly. And Slur says, the one who did this to you is named Takamoro, who is an old man, and I had never seen him before, because he is a legendary hitman. And he thought that Takamoro would be some Joker-like person, but seeing him in front of him today, his eyes were wide open. Hearing this, Gaku is also very shocked, and he also wants to praise that old man. But brother, what to do? The situation is such that he won't say anything about him, but these people are thinking, if Udo hadn't blown himself up at the right time, they wouldn't have survived today. And after this fight, many of their people have been killed, and their team has also reduced a lot. So they are also deciding that they will add more people to their team, and they have already started doing that. Then we see a scene of Sakamoto's shop, where Shin is, telling Sakamoto, even though I am in the JCC, I have no knowledge about it, and all the certificates he has from there were given to him only because of his intellect. Hearing this, Hisuke is very shocked. Oh wow, son, you are such a big genius. You have done a great job. Meanwhile, Sakamoto is checking the date of all the products because the mess that Nagumo had created forced them to change all the products and put up fresh ones here. Then the entry of Lu happens here, who starts showing the JCC website, and JCC stands for Japan Clean Creation, which is a school for assassinations where 1,000 children register at once, and there are 35 teachers over them, but only 10% of them are selected here, meaning 100 children and the maximum are killed, and those who clear this become assassins later. And here the male-female ratio is quite different, meaning 8-2. Now Sakamoto starts saying, I did graduate from JCC, but getting in is very difficult because the security there is very high, so we will register as new students there. Just then, the entry of Sakamoto's wife happens, who had the JCC forms in her hand, and she looked very angry. You aren't thinking of sending our daughter here, are you? But Sakamoto denies this. Then we see Sakamoto and Shin on a flight. These two are going there to take admission, and Sakamoto has changed his name a little, and there is no age limit for giving the exam here. But if you fail, you can give the exam again, so they won't have much trouble, except for the security. And these people were talking about how the exam was going to be very difficult, but the other people sitting in the flight were getting very annoyed because they were just talking on and on. And just then in the same flight, we are shown another girl who was thinking, I shouldn't doubt myself. Now I have come to take the exam, so I must take it. And she had brought a good luck charm with her. Then we find out that the transfer exam is much more difficult than the general exam, which Sakamoto and Shin are taking. And because of this, the applicant's level will also be very good. Just then we see a guy with a bowl cut here, whose name is Kill Baby, and he is also going to take this exam. And this is his 6th attempt. And he comes to Sakamoto and Shin and starts bothering them. Sakamoto and Shin ignore him, but the blue-haired girl starts thinking about them, about how this bowl-cut guy is bothering these new students. And he is advising them that you shouldn't eat before a fight like this, because it will dull your senses and you won't be able to fight properly. But brother, this fool takes out his food and starts eating it himself, and then runs away from here. And Shin even asks, should I kill him? But Sakamoto tells him to avoid him, and the air hostess of this plane starts announcing, your first exam has started here, and the examiners for this exam are sitting somewhere around you. And all these examiners have 1 bullet each, which has JCC written on it. So you have to take 1 bullet from each examiner before the exam ends. Only then will you pass this exam. And yes, during this exam, if you want to beat someone up, you can do that too. A boy asks, can we kill the teachers? The girl answers yes, after which weapons are distributed to everyone here. Shin gets a knife here. Meanwhile, the blue-haired girl got a machine gun, and like this, all of them got different weapons. And brother, they are waving at the plane from below because they thought it was a normal plane, but inside, a very dangerous war had started. Bullets and weapons were firing everywhere, and these people don't even spare the guy sitting in the bathroom. And this Kill Baby guy even attacks the air hostess, but she teaches him a lesson, and we find out that she is also an examiner, and this masked guy starts killing everyone one by one, and we find out that this guy is a germaphobe. Meanwhile, Shin is checking people without killing them to see if they are examiners or not, and this machine gun girl starts firing at everyone, and the power of this gun was so high that no one comes near her. Just then she sees Sakamoto, who got a pen here, and she thinks that Sakamoto will be killed here. But as soon as someone attacks him, Sakamoto finishes him off in a few seconds. Seeing this, this girl was very shocked, and the others were also very surprised to see Sakamoto. They thought, is this guy an examiner? After which, they also start attacking him. Just then, a guy starts attacking that girl, but Sakamoto comes and saves her at the right time. After which, we find out that the guy who was attacking that girl was actually an examiner, and he has that JCC bullet. Now, this girl thanks Sakamoto very much for saving her life, and she also praises him, saying your fighting skills are really amazing. Now Sakamoto starts to leave, but before leaving, he gives this girl a bullet because he had 3, but this girl refuses to take this bullet. Actually, I have a role model whom I follow. He never accepts a bullet like this, so I can't take this. Now this girl starts to explain. Actually, her parents believe that because of her short height, she can never become an assassin, but seeing Sakamoto, she says you are so chubby, yet you can become an assassin, so then why can't I? Meaning she didn't want to insult him. She was just expressing her feelings. Then we see that masked guy who had caught the air hostess and had also snatched a bullet from her. This guy's name was Mafuyu Seba, and now he was about to kill this girl. But just then, Shin comes and kicks him, pushing him away. And brother, this girl's age was only 14. Meanwhile, Shin's is 21, and he starts making fun of Shin, calling him an old man. After which, a very dangerous fight starts between these two. Shin tries very hard to avoid him, but a bullet hits him. Meanwhile, a little blood gets on this guy, and he starts cleaning it, which lets us know that this guy is a germaphobe, and this guy had come today, because on the day of the general exam, this guy had a flu, which happened because of his brother, so he had to take the exam again, and he came today, and we also find out that this guy doesn't like getting dirty at all, so he starts attacking Shin with the swords attached to his shoes. This guy was attacking with swords. Shin thinks that I shouldn't be a burden on Sakamoto, so he starts using his new skill, after which he teaches him a good lesson, but this guy doesn't understand what just happened. Sakamoto had already told Shin that he wouldn't help him in the examination, no matter how tough the exam is. Then we see the fight between these two again. Kafu thinks that Shin is lucky, but that's not the case. Shin is really overpowering him, and he was continuously raining bullets on him. Now both were about to counterattack, but this masked guy is thinking, no matter how fast he is, once I catch him, he won't be able to do anything. But meanwhile, Shin reads his entire mind with his mind-reading ability about what he is thinking, and Shin says, by the way, your plan is good, and he grabs him and throws him to the ground. Kafu says, go on, kill me now, but Shin refuses. I can't kill a small child for a bullet. I needed this bullet so I could clear this exam. But brother, this masked guy starts crying suddenly. How can you be so good even though you are so big? And Shin doesn't understand. Oh, what happened? To him, what is he doing acting? And Shin also starts praising him. You are really a very talented child. You could get a direct assassin's license. You don't need to take the JCC exam, but this child wants to. Take this exam so he can make a lot of connections and enter the order directly. Just then, a guy who was hiding in the storage area comes out and snatches their bullet, but in a few seconds, Shin shreds him. Seeing this, Kafu is even more shocked. Shin says to him, actually, to get into the order, you don't need a lot of connections, but rather a lot of overwhelming strength. Now, Shin gives him a bullet and starts to leave, but Kafu was about to say something to him. Shin says, oh, you don't need to say thank you. You can keep this. Kafu says, oh, I'm not saying thank you to you. Can you give me that clean bullet? This one has blood on it, and Shin starts getting angry at him. But still, Shin, while leaving, gives him 2 bullets and keeps one for himself. Then we see the blue-haired girl here, who didn't know how to fire this gun properly. Just then, Sakamoto shows her how to fire the gun, and also tells her how to keep the bullet stable. After which, these two start introducing themselves to each other, where Sakamoto tells her his name is Taro, and this girl's name was Akira. Meanwhile, during this, we see a guy who is recording everything with a camera. He was also doing commentary here. He says to people, amidst so much violence, I drop a hope, and he drops a bullet here. And as soon as he says cut, he blows everyone's heads off. Actually, this scene reminds me of a funny movie, but I'm not the one saying this. This same guy is saying it. Just then, he hears the sound of a gunshot, which was very stable, and he asks, who is there finally? Then we are shown the pilots of this plane who were talking. In 30 minutes, a lot of people have been killed here, and the examination is also about to end soon, and in a little while, we will land. Then we see Kafu, who is following Shin repeatedly. Shin tells him not to follow him. Just then, that camera guy is watching them, wondering what these people are doing here. And the guy who had brought him here on a trolley, he gives him a bullet and sends him away from here. Shin now starts reading that guy's mind and had already found out who that guy is. That he is the famous director Kanhagori, who portrays the realistic lifestyle of assassins. He has also made many movies about assassinations, and he has fans worldwide. And he is the founder, producer, and director too, meaning he does so much work alone. Kafu says, now you people are boring me. These movies and all are very boring, and we can't even skip their boring parts. It would be better if I go to YouTube and watch new videos of anime tricks. Those are much more interesting. Now, hearing this insult of movies, Kanagori starts getting very angry, and he decides that he will teach these two a lesson, after which this guy attacks these people, and he was so fast that Shin couldn't even predict his moves. But now he was about to cut their heads with his cutting board. But just then, Sakamoto shoots at them, and he did this by moving Akira's muscles, and Kanha is very shocked to see him. Yes, you are just perfect. Your soft aura is attracting me a lot. Looking at you, it doesn't seem like you can kill anyone. You could become a main character in a movie, just like a hero, and Sakamoto is feeling very happy hearing this. But surprisingly, he is talking about Akira, and he takes Akira and all her bullets and starts running away from there. And first of all, he goes and shoots the pilot, after which this plane starts going down very fast, and all the people were being thrown around, but this guy still hadn't had enough fun, so he makes a big hole in this plane, causing all the people to start falling out. Now people don't understand how they will survive, but all the examiners had parachutes here. Then we are shown another examiner whose name was Osami, and he was the head of all the examiners. He was very sad because he felt that everyone would blame him now. But just then, another examiner named Otto tells him, "A new plan. Why don't you tell everyone that this is the second stage of the exam?" But an examiner who is falling down says, "No, there's no such thing. I hadn't heard anything like that." And Shin also reads his mind. Meanwhile, we see a guy who, before falling down, is thinking about how he can survive falling down, because it will take a full 2 minutes to fall down. Meanwhile, we see Kanaguri, who is still recording the video. He wants to see what Akira will do in this situation. Just then, Sakamoto blows hard and goes up and delivers a powerful kick to Kanaguri and also snatches the bullet from him. Akira is thinking, Taro is really very powerful. He is thinking about taking bullets even in this situation before surviving, and Akira was also thinking about what she could do because she only knows household work. But just then, she remembers that she also knows sewing, after which she takes everyone's clothes and sews them together, making a parachute here. Now everyone grabs this parachute, which reduced their speed a little, and these people fall into the water below, and all of them were saved. But Akira doesn't know how to swim, and she thinks that she will die now. But Sakamoto comes at the right time and saves her, and Kafu is still complaining that because of that director, all his clothes have gotten wet. Now he will kill him. But Shin was also saying, "Now I won't watch a single movie of that director." But they find a bullet here too, and these people give it to Akira. Akira is very happy to get it. Meanwhile, Kill Baby is also thinking, even though he didn't get this bullet, he is still alive. Then we see another examiner on a board who is very excited because those who have passed this exam must be really amazing. And looking at her bag, it seems like she is a big fan of Sakamoto. Then we are shown what that filmmaker had done. He was making videos of everyone on the plane, and he likes Akira a lot. So he says, "From now on, you are mine, you are my protagonist." And this fool had blown up the entire plane just for his fun. Everyone was falling down. But Akira used her brain at the right time and took everyone's clothes and made a parachute out of them, saving everyone. And this guy had also recorded this thing. But because of falling into the water, his camera is also damaged. But now he is thinking, my camera is also broken. How will I make movies now? There's no point in me living anymore. Then we see Shin and Sakamoto, who are drying their clothes. Shin notices that a lot of people have been killed here, but he doesn't know where that director is. He isn't even visible. Then Akira also comes here, who was very happy to see them because she and everyone with her were saved, and she is very happy about it. And they have also passed this first exam, and now I will pass the next level with my classmates. Now Shin, upon hearing the word classmate, asks Sakamoto, "Does stuff like festivals happen here too, like in school?" Sakamoto says, "Yes, festivals happen here too, along with school trips, which people enjoy a lot." Just then, we see Kill Baby here, has survived here, and he is saying hi hello to everyone. But no one was recognizing him, and luckily, he also found a bullet here, because of which he has passed this test. Then we are shown the team of examiners who were talking. "Oh brother, man, what has happened? So many people have died. Next time, we must ensure that as few people as possible are killed." The air hostess comes and tells Osami, "The others will be arriving here soon," after which he now makes an announcement. "Come on, brother, tiki chole, whoever is hungry, come, oye." Now the third stage of this exam is about to start, and yes, some new participants are going to enter this. Now, some more people had arrived here, who will now join the second stage, and they also praise the survivors for surviving that incident. Osami now starts, telling everyone these are the new candidates. They will join the second stage from here, and he calls them special recommendation candidates. The guy with glasses is named Kazi, the girl's name is Toramaru, and this last guy's name is Shinya. Oh brother, is that a girl? Just like Shinya Sheila's youth. And brother, Kill Baby is getting very angry seeing, Oye, you're Buffalo's father. We have done so much, and how can you just enter in the middle? Get out of here. But this girl knocks him down in 1 second, and the weapon she had was also very dangerous. And she says to him, yes, no need to be dramatic like girls. Just take this exam quietly, or you can leave from here. And Osami now starts telling everyone that the new people who have come on recommendation have been recommended by professional hitmen or their agencies. So no matter what happens, you will have to play along with them. And he also tells Toramaru to stay a little calm, but she says, this Kill Baby made fun of my keychain. That's why I hit him. And Shin was very shocked because that keychain was Sakamoto's. Then we see Slur with his other companions in a club. Slur is trying to call someone, but he doesn't answer the call here. Actually, he himself had sent one of his guys to him in the exam, but since the exam is going on, he can't answer in between. And Kashima also asks, was it right to send that young boy on such a mission? He has no experience at all. Slur says, I think young people have a power with which they can change society. By the way, Gaku and Kashima, both of you were also teenagers when I made you my members. Now, Osami is telling everyone that in the third stage, everyone will work in a group, after which he tells them to open the bullet which contained a headband. But those who have a headband of a certain color can form their group. And in this exam, the tail attached to others, they have to try and take it from them. This will test their physical ability, intelligence, and teamwork. And there will be 7 teams here. And this forest has a 10 kilometers radius, and you have only 2 days time. If someone takes your tail, you will be considered dead here, meaning you have failed in this. And this guy finds this exam very easy. Osami says, first of all, many of our people have already been killed, so we had to keep such a stage where not many people would be killed. Then we see Sakamoto, Akira, and Kill Baby are in one team. Meanwhile, Shin, Shiba, and Kazi are in one team, meaning these 2 teams are separate. But there were many teams here who had to collect a lot of tails before the time ran out. Now their exam had also started here. Everyone starts running around. Sakamoto says to Shin, we will meet somewhere ahead. Shin says, this is a game and I am your enemy, so you be careful. Meanwhile, Shin has now collected a blue tail, and brother, Kill Baby is now scheming. We will first make our tail so short that no one will be able to take it. Then we see Sakamoto, who is thinking about something. Akira asks, what happened to you? And he was thinking about Shin, who had told him, Sakamoto, I want to be like you. Then we see a team where children are running because Toramaru was chasing them. But she says, I like colors a lot, so that's why I'm going to collect all the colors. That guy says, you already have a tail of one color, so you can go and collect some other one. But brother, she attacks those people and even cuts one's hand. But she has a hobby of collecting colors, and they look very cute to her too. Then we see Kill Baby, who is very annoyed because Akira and Sakamoto are having a good time here. And Kill Baby says, oh man, what are you doing? We have to collect those tails, and you're just eating and enjoying here. But brother, still, they don't listen to him and are having a good time here. Then we see a bespectacled guy who comes to them and says, hey, what are you doing here? Run away quickly. A crazy girl is chasing us. And as soon as Kill Baby tries to run away from here, he gets trapped, and along with him, Sakamoto and Akira too. But this was all the plan of this bespectacled guy because his team had attacked here. Now a guy is about to shoot and kill them, but just then a blast happens here. Then we see Shin and Shiba running, but that crazy girl attacks them. Shin avoids her very easily, and this girl is very shocked to see this. Oh wow, you have very good skills. By the way, I should have been in your team because your color is white, and white is Sokka's color, and Shiba attacks her. But this attack also hits her keychain, and this girl now starts going crazy. Meanwhile, we see Sakamoto, who stopped this blast with just his pen, and these people were very shocked to see this. Then Akira came out of the net's hole from here. Sakamoto tells her to go away from here, but she wasn't ready to leave them. Sakamoto is stopping all the bullets with his pen. Then Akira starts thinking about something here. She didn't want to kill anyone, but just then she remembers someone's words, and then she starts shaking herself, and she had entered her assassination mode, and she directly goes and blows that bespectacled guy's neck off, just with her fingers. Seeing this, everyone is very shocked, and those guys now start running away from here. Akira was chasing them, but Sakamoto comes and stops her. Akira, what are you doing? Now Sakamoto runs to that bespectacled guy and starts treating him. Don't move too much. The attack on you has burst your veins. If I don't fix you quickly, you will die. And Kill Baby's ass is thoroughly kicked. Hey, what have you done? How did you kill these people like this? And Akira starts explaining here. I didn't want to kill them. I did all this just to save you. Just then, Sakamoto remembers Nagumo's words, and in that flashback, there was another guy with Nagumo who looked just like Akira. But it was a man who was saying, if you stare at your target, sometimes you can find the path to kill it, and Sakamoto finds this very strange. Then he asks Akira her family name, and she says, my family name is Akao. Then we are told that Sakamoto had a team before whose members were Sakamoto, Nagumo, and Akao. Then we see Toramaru, who is teaching Shin and his companions a lesson. She says to them, "You people are quite lucky that you are in the white team, because I was also supposed to be in the white team because the white team is Sakamoto's team." And Mafu says to her, "Oh man, you are so copy and talk," and he thinks that this girl is quite crazy about some enemy character, and then she is doing such weird antics, after which he even attacks that girl. But this attack hits her doll, which was Sakamoto's doll, and a scratch also appears on it, and he even tells her further, "People like you, who are obsessed with one thing, are not achieving anything special in their lives, so they do such things to cool their minds." And Shin trips him and says, "Oh, Oye, you are going too far." Now Toramaru, hearing his words, gets very pissed off, and she won't let them go now. Then we see Kashima, Gaku, and Exu were having some conversation. Then we see Akira, who is thinking, "If I have to become an assassin to save someone, then I am ready for that too." And she had also killed a guy here. Now she was about to kill another guy, but Sakamoto had stopped her. Sakamoto now asks her, "What is your real name?" To which she replies, "My real name is Akira Akao." Hearing this name, Sakamoto is a little stunned. Then we are shown a scene from the past, where in the JCC shooting range, we see a girl, and this girl looked exactly like Akira, but she had challenged Nagumo and Sakamoto, and it was some shooting range competition which this girl had won. But these people were now going back on the promise they had made. Actually, they had promised some food, and now in the present, Sakamoto asks Akira, "Do you know Rion Akao?" To which she replies, "Yes, she is my aunt." Then we see Toramaru again, who is raining bullets on Shin and his companions. These people are running forward, dodging her, but she doesn't stop. And while running, these people are deciding how they will escape from her. Kazi is trying to tell them that there is a waterfall ahead. They will fall down, but they don't listen to him. But suddenly they fall down. After falling into the water, they find a cut tree here, with the help of which they came up. Meanwhile, Shin is thinking, "Oh man, why is this girl so crazy about Sakamoto?" And Mafuyu is saying, "Oh man, I'm feeling sick." But Toramaru has come to them again to teach them a lesson. Then we are told that when she was a child, Sakamoto had appeared before her, and as soon as she saw him for the first time, she had gone completely crazy about him. A man who is a very cold-hearted killer and shows no emotion. And since then, he had become her idol, and Sakamoto is like a different species to her. And since then, this girl started putting up his photos, listening to his songs, meaning she started doing everything about him. She even dyed her hair his color, and because of Sakamoto, she started meeting people so she could make more friends who would help her meet Sakamoto one day. And she had become so obsessed with him that if anyone said anything negative about Sakamoto in front of her, she wouldn't spare them. Now, a very dangerous fight was about to happen between Shin and Toramaru. Shin, preparing himself, cracks his shoulder, Sakamoto's signature action. Seeing this girl recognizes it. "It seems you are also a big fan of Sakamoto." And she asks him, "By the way, what do you like most about Sakamoto?" "The thing I like most about him is how he is the #1 cool attitude, no emotions, cold-hearted killer, who is just like a murder machine." Shin says to her, "No, you are thinking wrong. Sakamoto is not like that. He is a very enduring, loving, and caring guy." But till today, Shin hasn't met a warmer guy than him. Everyone calls him the invincible hitman, the strongest hitman, but the whole world wants to rely on him. If the whole world relies on him, then who will he himself rely on? Hearing this, Toramaru gets very offended. She thinks that Shin is comparing himself to Sakamoto, and she says, "Hearing this, I am not angry. Actually, a new feeling has arisen in me, refusal to share." Then a very dangerous fight starts between these two, and from afar, the others are also watching them. And it was Shinya who had already done an amazing job, and has also collected all 3 tails. Now he also takes the tails from his companions. Those guys say, "Oh, you have disqualified yourself too," but Shinya isn't listening to them. Meanwhile, the fight between Toramaru and Shin was still going on. She says to Shin, "If you keep dodging all my attacks like this, what will you even do to me?" And she continuously fires bullets and attacks at him. Then we see Kazi, who wants to help Shin, but doesn't want to be a bone in the kebab. Only when Shin calls him will he go to help him. Meanwhile, Shin is kicking and punching her, but this girl says to him, "If you counterattack me like this, I am going to teach you a very bad lesson." Now Shin starts thinking, what would Sakamoto do if he were here? After which, he uses his mind-reading ability and starts raining punches continuously on Toramaru, and he makes her fall down from the waterfall. Now Shin realizes that Toramaru hasn't come out of the water. Perhaps she is drowning inside, so Shin goes to save her. He sees that Sakamoto's doll is stuck below, but in trying to get it out, she herself is drowning inside. Shin now pulls her out, but he says to her, "I saved your life only because if Sakamoto were here, he would have done the same." And Toramaru says to him, "So okay, you also become the rank 1 person in Sakamoto's fan club," and Shin had become very annoyed by her antics. Just then, Shinya comes and lands a powerful punch on Toramaru, and then we find out that this guy is being controlled by Gaku, and they are all sitting in one place, but they were working on this technology which Kashima had given them. Kazi is now saying, "These people are too weak and are not worthy of bringing into our organization." To which X says, "You keep trying, you will find someone." Now all the examiners had returned. They say, "This guy has broken the rule. Now see how we will teach him a lesson." And they had found 4 more people dead here too. They think that all this work is Shinyaka's, but they weren't going to kill him, but rather expel him from here. And a guy is saying to him, love and discipline are very important for assassinations, and you have none of that, so you cannot become a member of JCC. But brother, Gaku first teaches this teacher a lesson, after which he starts beating all the teachers one by one here, and he beats the female teacher very bad, and Osami tells those three, you people, get out of here. But Shin refuses to leave from here, and he was ready to fight him. If I don't fight today, I will never become any stronger. And Osami thinks that perhaps this is this guy's death wish. Now Shin starts using his power, but he has already used his power too much, so he gets stuck here. Now this guy was about to attack him, but just then a double attack happens on that guy himself, and in this, Gaku is also having a lot of difficulty, but still he is enjoying it a lot. Now all of them together start attacking Shinya because Gaku is controlling Shinya, so he is overpowering them. He had landed a very dangerous kick on Shin too, which made his nose bleed because Shinya is asleep, so Shin can't read his mind. Here, Kazi is thinking how brave these two are. They themselves joined the fight. I also wanted to join this fight, but I feel this guy is asleep because his heartbeat is very slow, and if my guess is wrong, a big mess could happen here. Toramaru is raining bullets on Shinya. Meanwhile, Shin is fighting him hand to hand, and he is also overpowering him. Meanwhile, we see Gaku, who had a head injury because he had collided with a wall. Meanwhile, Shin and all the others were very shocked to see this. What is this guy doing? And then we find out that Kashima has picked up a guy who is a laborer and needs money. So lured by this, he had brought him here, and this guy's body is very flexible. That's why he is handling half of Gaku's power so easily. We should collect more guys like this. Kashima says, no, face-to-face interviews are also very important. Only then can we know more about their power. Now Gaku attacks these three again, and he delivers a powerful kick to Mafu, and he is about to do the same to Toramaru too. But Kazi comes and dodges it. Now, Mafuyu escapes. Now Toramaru puts Mafuyu on her gun and launches him upwards, and Mafuyu directly attacks that guy. But this guy stops him, but Mafuyu succeeds in breaking this guy's glasses. But in this, his condition had worsened a lot. Meanwhile, we see Kazi, who is thinking, these people are really very powerful. Even with such a dangerous enemy in front, they are fighting him. But I can't do anything. I am a coward. I am very ashamed of myself. And Shin says to him, look, I can hear your thoughts. So if you want to help us, do it quickly. Now this guy had agreed to help them. I have a plan. You just have to follow it. Then we see Sakamoto and his companion who were roaming in the forest and were also worried about Shin. And on this side, we see that because of the punch Mafu had landed on this guy, he can't see from one side. Now, and he is having a little difficulty fighting. Then we are told about Kazi. Actually, he can hear sounds from very far away, and he is figuring out all of Shinya's moves by listening to that sound. And Shinya now lands a powerful punch on the ground, which causes these people to enter a cave, and they are surrounded from all sides. And now, their plan starts. Kazi will think of the move here, and Shin will read his mind, after which these two will together attack Shinya here. And Shin has done this work before with Sakamoto too, but Sakamoto's thought process is very fast, whereas Kazi's thought process is a bit laggy, and Shinya is also moving laggy here, so Shin doesn't understand anything. And Shin is thinking, I wish Kazi were a bit like Sakamoto, but brother, how can anyone be like Sakamoto? After which, he himself decides that he will use his special power, which could reduce his life a little, but now he has no other way, after which Shin is now dodging all the attacks, but he is also able to see Kazi's future. Then Shin delivers a powerful kick to him, which causes one of his gloves to become defective here. Seeing this, Gaku now starts getting angry, and he decides that he will break Shinya's body to teach these people a lesson. Kazi says, give me a little time. I am thinking of doing something big. Meanwhile, Shin is now fighting Shinya again. Meanwhile, Kazi is standing less, thinking about something, and he has memorized all of Shinya's emotions, after which he starts attacking Shinya. Shin is very impressed to see this, and he had understood that this guy was in the special recommendation like Toramaru for a reason. Kashima says, we must play music now, after which that guy won't be able to hear our moves. But Gaku was having a lot of fun fighting them, so he refuses to do so. Now they attack him again, and while attacking, they had gotten very close to him. Shinya had now reached near the wall, and as we know, Gaku is controlling him. If there is no space behind him, then Gaku won't be able to go back either. Shinya attacks Shin, but Shin dodges his attack. As we know, Gaku is not fighting with his full strength, but now he uses his full power and first delivers a very dangerous attack on Kazi, and this causes him a lot of damage, and then he uses Hulk Smash and blows Kazi's eardrums out. And now Shin also starts losing consciousness here. He feels that his final time has come. Just then, Sakamoto lands a powerful kick on him, and Shinya falls far away. Shin is feeling very bad here because this time too, Sakamoto had to come to save him. Meanwhile, Kashima and Gaku had also now prepared to fight Sakamoto, and here Sakamoto is warming up so he can fight well. Shinya throws a stone at him, but Sakamoto crushes it with his Shinya's hands. Now Shinya punches and breaks the wall here. Now Sakamoto says to Shin, "Go, take Kazi and get out of here. Don't think that I'm underestimating you, but right now, you have to save Kazi's life." Now Sakamoto breaks a wall here, which causes a lot of water to come in, and he also delivers a powerful kick to Shinya. And here Gaku's condition is also becoming similar. Now Sakamoto brought Shinya to a plane, and putting him in the pilot's seat, ties him up. "To deliver my friend, you must be deported." And Sakamoto is beating Shinya very badly. But not only that, he is hitting him with suitcase after suitcase. Shinya tries his best to at least attack Sakamoto more in vain, but Sakamoto pushes him far away with the help of a book. Now Shinya's device was very damaged, and he had also realized that his end was near. Shinya was on top of the plane. Sakamoto jumps on him and jumps in the air, spinning the plane's wheels, and he spins them so fast that it goes straight into the air, and with that same wing, he attacks Shinya, after which Shinya falls into the water. His device was also broken, and perhaps that guy is now dead too. We see Torimaru, who is lost in her imagination, and someone is putting a bandage on her. She thinks that this is Sakamoto, but just then, her eyes open. Seeing the fat Sakamoto, she says, "Who are you?" But the examiners had also arrived here. They say, "All 7 of you have passed this exam," and that examiner also takes the name Taro Sakamoto. This girl is very shocked to hear that this guy has taken his name after Saka. Now the examiner starts talking to Sakamoto. "What is a legendary assassin doing here?" Sakamoto says, "There are some personal reasons for this," and Torimaru can't believe at all that this fat guy is her Sakamoto. Now the other examiner says, "These people's enrollment will happen in 3 months. But in the meantime, whatever necessary paperwork is there, they will have to submit it, and after a while, some more helicopters will come here, which will take Shinya away from here. And after that, they will do all the investigation." We see Shinya. We thought he was dead, but now he is alive and is crying very loudly. Shinya now starts telling everyone, "I had filled out a form online from where I was going to get a lot of money. There were 2 guys who gave me this job." Hearing this, everyone is very shocked. Meanwhile, Sakamoto wanted to know more information about those guys. This guy starts looking at their contact details in his phone, but before that, it had all been cleared, and whatever money was to be credited to him has already been credited to his bank. Kazi says, "I heard these people's conversation, and they want to recruit 2 people so that they can increase their numbers." Then we see Kashima, who is telling Slur. Both Shin and Sakamoto were at that place. Hearing this, Slur feels very bad, and Slur tells Kashima, "Destroy all my data in the JCC so that no one can get any information about me." And Gaku says, "On that entire island, only 2 people were useful to us." And on this side, we see that many helicopters have started arriving. Now all the students start leaving from here. Akira, while leaving, thanks Sakamoto very much. If you weren't there, she probably wouldn't have passed the exam today. And Shiba also says bye to Shin and leaves from here. Then Torimaru and Shiba both had boarded a helicopter. Torimaru asks Shiba, "You look very tired. What happened to you?" Then we see the director here. Seiba tries to run away from here upon seeing him, but just then, a guy grabs his throat, and this guy's name was Carolina Reaper, and Slur himself has hired these 2 guys to kidnap and bring these 2. Then in the next scene, we see Nagumo, Shishiba, and Osaragi, and these people are talking about that same director. From their conversation, we find out that Guy is a member of the Order who himself killed an old member of the Order and has now become a member of the Order himself. Now these people had come to a lottery shop. Nagumo takes 1 ticket each for the 3 of them, and they decide that whoever's lottery wins, they will split all the money among themselves. And when they scratch the lottery ticket, they find out that Nagumo and Shishiba got the same mission, which is related to Slur. Osaragi wins 20,000 yen, and she is not going to share her money with anyone. And these people are talking like this about how Japanese society is completely dependent on them. If these people weren't there, then crime rates in Japan would increase a lot. Meanwhile, Slur, who wants to blow up the JAA because of him, crime here will increase even more. And according to Nagumo, Japan's police can only control 10% of the crime rate. Then we see Kangori, who is recording Seiba and is trying to find out what is going on in his mind. Meanwhile, Carolina Reaper tells him to stop. Kashima is also telling him to stop. But just then, a fight starts between Carolina Reaper and the director. And just then, a new guy arrives here to stop them, whose name is Club Jam. Now Slur starts talking to Torimaru and Seiba. "Don't you people worry. I have brought you here for recruitment. I want you people to join my organization, and our organization has only one aim: to restore the natural way of the entire world." Meanwhile, Kashima is telling these 2 about the benefits of of this job, such as health insurance, a 5-6 day work week, and no overtime. And these people ask them, what if we don't want to join? Now Sakamoto and Shin have returned to their shop. Lu and Hisuke are praising them a lot for qualifying the exam. Hisuke is also getting very jealous because he also wanted to go to JCC. Shin, explaining to him, says, we are not going there to have fun. We have a mission. We have to go to the JCC's data bank so we can extract as much information as possible about Slur. Now Sakamoto's daughter had brought a letter here, which had the result of these two. When Shin opens this letter, he is very shocked because he got an A+ in it and he passed it very well. Meanwhile, Sakamoto, who got an A+ rating, has failed in this exam. Now Shin's ass is on the line and he directly calls the examiner. Oh, Oe, what have you done? Why didn't you pass Sakamoto? The examiner starts explaining to him. We have passed all the candidates except Sakamoto because we cannot pass anyone who has a bounty on them. Hearing this, Sakamoto starts getting angry. Just then, Nagumo makes an entry. Hey Sakamoto, I heard you applied, but you failed in it. Now hearing this, Sakamoto gets even angrier. Just then, Nagumo tells them to go to JCC. It is not necessary that you go there as a student. You can go there as a teacher too, but even then, because of the bounty, Sakamoto cannot enter JCC. Nagumo says, oh man, why are you worrying? We are not going to send you there. We will send someone else there. And he points towards his wife. Then we are told about Japan Clean Creation. In this very institute, 1,000 people come every year and stay in dormitories for 4 years. And world-class assassination training happens here, and it provides the best facilities in Japan. Then we see Akira, who was looking very sad because she has found out that 10 people are killed here every day, and she starts going to her class hiding. Just then, her teacher shoots at her. This is not a class for coming hiding, so come on time from tomorrow. Now Akira stands in front of a guy named Tanishi, and these people were fighting each other. Now this guy was about to attack Akira. Just then, a woman comes and saves Akira, and her moves were very similar to Sakamoto's. We find out that this woman is none other than Sakamoto, who has taken the form of a woman, but this was all Nagumo's plan, and he has given Sakamoto 24 hours to go to JCC and extract all the information about Slur. Otherwise, this trick won't work for long. Then we are shown Nagumo with Shishiba, who is very happy thinking about what Sakamoto must be doing now. Then we see another guy who is looking for a guy named Nasuki, and he had come near the scene while searching. But Shin was sitting in the washroom, reading a manga which was about a bullied child. He thinks that this guy is also going to kill him, but this guy's own ass is saved here. But now he is also ready to extract all the information about Slur. So with this part also ends here. So guys, how did you like season 2 of Sakamoto Days? Do tell in the comments. But yes, some people are calling this part 2 of season 1, so I have covered all the episodes in it. When the next part comes, I will make a video on it. So comment and tell me how you liked this part. But if you are new to my channel, like the video and subscribe to the channel for such amazing videos. For the rest, I will see you in the next video. Until then, okay, take care. Goodbye.